So this next interview, man, it's so much. It's so much history, man. I hate to have to condense it to a 30-minute situation because there's so much that we could cover and so many places we could go. You know what I'm saying? Because of just the sheer history. Like we got. How many natives do we have in the room? You know what I'm saying? Like, how you from the city? You know what I'm saying? Give it up, because you know what I mean. A lot of times people are trying to tell you we are a city of transplants, but I fight against the unicorn narrative personally. You know what I mean? I don't like the unicorn situation. It's like I feel like I know more people who are from Charlotte than people who aren't from Charlotte. You just got to be in the right spot. You know what I'm saying? You got to know where you're going. So I got Rel next to me, y'all, man. Rel Mariano's here, man. Did I pronounce that right?
It's Mariano.
Mariano.
Close
Rel
enough.
Mariano, man. He's here with us. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to have you here, bro.
I'm happy to be here.
Man, it's a blessing to really finally get a chance to sit down and have a conversation with you. I feel like since like 2016, 17, it's just been in passing. Like, oh, it's good, bro. I see you. It's good, bro.
Yep.
I see you. It's good, bro. I see you. So to finally sit down with you, have a conversation, and hear some more about your journey and your story. From a fan's perspective too, man. Like I literally have, like I texted them earlier, maybe like early last week, or the week before that, and was telling them like I got a mix CD in the car that's like old Forever FC joints and some joints from his individual tapes and some joints from Lou's individual tapes. Like this is like 2010, 2011, 2014 type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I was a fan of this man before we ever really knew who each other were for real. You know what I'm saying? Like before I met him, it was literally the music and the creativity that he was putting into the world, and knowing that he was from the city, it meant a lot. So you know what I'm saying, bro? I'm more. I just gotta give you the flowers,
Bro, I'm accepted, but I feel like it's too much.
No, it's not. Bro. I'm telling you, it's not because that era really like coming home from school. That era really let me know that like, nah, we had people who were here doing the things that I was extremely interested in. You know what I'm saying? They had kind of like cut my teeth on when I was at Winston. So. So just the merch y'all were putting out, the movements that y'all had, like everything during that time really inspired me and really set the table for me to come back home and do that work. So I gotta make sure that is on wax, you know what I'm saying, recorded, that I give you those flowers for the foundation and the bricks that you were a part of laying for what we are all still doing right now, bro. And that's not.
I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And even to the next level, like I was telling somebody, I'm in my homies. I'm gonna let him introduce himself in a second, but I gotta get this off my chest. And it's not even a beer. You know what I'm saying? This is just all admiration from the heart. But I'm in my homie's show. My boy Phil Loken, he's got a show at the Light Factory that's opening in January, and he told me I needed to take him to specific locations that were important to me, and I took him to the From Charlotte with Love mural because everybody, if you grew up in Charlotte and you really tapped in on streetwear and sneakers, you know what the 1500 block of Camden really meant to the culture. So to have somebody who's really from the city, who's from that era, have something, a part of their brand be in that area, it means more than what anybody will really understand or know. So it's cool, and people want to Instagram it, and people got their dogs out there, and it's outside of a brewery, but people don't really know what it means to have it come from your brand and you to be the person who put together the design, you know what I'm saying, to be in that spot. You know what I'm saying? So had to say all that. Now, for if you don't know who this guy is, I will let him introduce himself and give you guys a little context on who he is, and we'll jump into the conversation.
I'm Rel Mariano, born and raised Charlotte, North Carolina. Been here my whole life. I went to, I want to say like 5 different high schools. I lived everywhere in this city, so I can't really say that I'm specifically from one part of one side. Like I've grown up with pretty much everybody, been around everybody, just moving, passing through. I have a brand now called From Charlotte with Love. Well, actually called Trash Genius, but the staple piece is From Charlotte with Love. It was created. I don't know if I should go into this now.
Go, bro. Go.
Okay.
We flowing. Just
right.
you know.
It was created just basically because I wanted to create something like you know when you go to New York, you have the I Love New York. You go to Virginia, you got Virginia's for Lovers. But Charlotte had nothing. Like we didn't have anything. So I just felt like I wanted to create that thing for Charlotte. That thing that people could pass along. Like you come into the city. You could pick up a souvenir cup, or you could pick up a shirt, or you could send it to somebody, and it's from Charlotte with Love. When you wearing it, you should feel like a gift because you are from Charlotte with Love.
No
so
doubt.
you don't really, I don't know everybody gets what I'm saying, but
Give them some head nods, man. Give them, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
Give 'em some,
Everybody
it's
just
okay to
looking, I'm
speak,
like,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's okay to speak in here, man. I know we recording and all that, but, you know, feedback is welcome.
yeah. So basically, over the last 3 years, I've been just going really hard with just getting that message out. It's a message of positivity. I just wanted everybody to have that positive affirmation. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you should feel as though you're a gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when you send it to other people, they should have pride and be happy with it. So I really try to put a lot of thought into the actual quality of the product, because I don't want to just create something that you're just gonna work out in, or I really want you to take pride in the item. So it's just been a journey in clothing. Before I was doing music, but I took the entire 2021 off to just focus on my brand, and it's actually been paying off. So.
Nah, for sure, man, for sure. In more ways than one, you just, again, building on top of that creative foundation. So I want to step back just a little bit, and I want you to, you said you're from every side. You can't really claim a side. Do you got a favorite, or do you have, just give me some of them staple, like, key memories from, being brought up in this area? Because you got a couple natives in the room, so, like, just take us down. What was your experience like in Charlotte? You know what I'm saying? Because even as natives, we got different experiences.
Yeah, so basically my family is from the Tuckasegee area. So my mom is from what they call it now, Wesley Heights. That's what it's called now. So my mom is from that area. She graduated from South Meck because there wasn't a lot of high schools. So it's like, why would a kid from Tuckasegee go all the way to South Meck? But it wasn't that many high schools. So she graduated from there. She had me at a very young age. So pretty much just basically just, how do I even say it? All right, so the first neighborhood that I grew up in was this neighborhood that's no longer here. It's called Earl Village, right? So it's like one of the most historic places like in Charlotte history. You guys can Google it or whatever. It's very crazy neighborhood. It's now Fourth Ward. So I went from there to Boulevard Homes, which is, I think it's still Boulevard Homes, but it's completely gone. But this is on the West Boulevard, so I grew up there. Just pretty rough area, but I mean, hey, it's life. So from there, I ended up going over to the Dorada area. Then I was over there. I stayed there for a while. Went to middle school in that area. Then I moved over to the east. So like Village Lake, Farm Pond, Albemarle Road area. Was over there for a long time. And then I ended up moving out to Huntersville area. So that's when I came around the university kids and just the Cornelius, Davison, all those people. So I've just pretty much my entire life has been just encompassing like different things from different parts of Charlotte. So I've been around all different types of transplants my entire life. So you got people from New York, people from New Orleans, people from all these different places. And it has influenced me to be who I am today, because I've been just grasping these different cultures and these different, experiences from these people.
How do you feel like you manifest those experiences like into your creativity? Like, because it's almost like it's like a filter of a filter. Like somebody may bring with that New York experience, and then you get to filter what they talk about their New York experience into something. So how does that? How do you feel like you kind of are channeling those things or those experiences? How does that show up for you creatively?
Creatively, all right. So here's an example. I can listen to Jay-Z and I can listen to Lil Boosie right after and feel perfectly fine. Yeah. Like I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong, because I understand both walks of life. Or I can go listen to go-go music. And it's different things like that. So I just try to like pick up on everything that's around me. I just absorb everything like a biscuit.
Like a biscuit. That's the most southern example ever. Like a biscuit, not a sponge, a biscuit. Nah, I'm with it. That's tight. So again, kind of like leaning into those earlier days, like I became a fan because of the music. So what led you into creating music, and what part of the city were you in, I guess, during that time where you started to kind of, or was that even your first form of creativity? Sometimes, I may know you from music, but you might have been like, bro, I've been drawing since forever. But
no, actually, the first thing that I started in was fashion. So that was my first passion. Got you. So when I graduated high school, I told myself I'm going to Art Institute of Atlanta and I'm going to make this fashion thing happen. My son's yelling.
Hey, look, that's all good. Yeah, you hear your voice. We with it.
So I went to Atlanta. Unfortunately, because of like just my life, just how it was, I couldn't afford to be there. That's a very expensive school, man. So I didn't have the money to be at that school. So I was only able to stay there for like 1 quarter, or I think they have quarters, I think. But it was like 1 semester, and I had to so I got sent back. But while I was there, they had a music program. So a lot of the kids at that school were like rapping and stuff, and I had never really like messed with it. Like my stepdad was a rapper back in the day, so that was his thing. But I just never really like took it seriously.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening was they were having these battles and stuff in the hallway, and I just like jumped in, and people were like, "Yo, you really need to take this thing seriously. Like you really need to be on this." And I'm like, all right, whatever. So basically, when I got sent back to Charlotte from Atlanta from not being able to do fashion, I was like, well, I'm going to try this rap thing. So that's how I got into that.
Got you. And then, so transitioning back home, how did that link you into, or how did that lead to you linking up with, everybody from that core era that I keep referencing? I hope you don't get annoyed by that. You know what I'm saying? But like, how did those relationships start to form?
Those relationships were based purely off of like 6 degrees of separation. Pretty much everybody like had a friend that was a friend of somebody. So basically when I ended up meeting up with Lute, it was Lute and Jimmy, they were together. Rye, we went to high school together. So it was like just six degrees of separation from all of us. Like somebody introduced us to the next person. We were on like in the Huntersville, Beatty'sford Road area. They went to Hopewell, we went to North Meck. So we were like rival schools, but we knew of each other because you're gonna know like, okay, these guys go to this school and they're good at rapping. All right, cool. Well, we go to this school and we good at rapping. So like, what's up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's basically how it was. And then we just came together and like, we had a very, very, very good run.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the, of course, obviously one of those main staple moments from that, and this happened, I think, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but outside of the group, is when you got Rick Ross on the remix to Just Us. So, like, talk about that for a second and, like, what that experience was like and how that worked out, because it was CIAA was mixed in there somehow, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, just run through that if you don't mind.
So, like, that, I would say, like, those moments were, like, that was, like, a bittersweet moment, right?
Yeah.
So, like, to a lot of people, you think, like, you get Rick Ross on your song, like, that's, like, the biggest, like, as an up-and-coming artist, like, that's, like, the biggest thing that could possibly happen to you. But it opened my eyes to, like, what was really ahead of me as far as, like, the music industry. Mm-hmm. And I realized that, hey, it's not what I thought it was. Yeah. It's not, this thing works a lot differently than I'm actually cut out for. Seeing as though like I have different types of I have a lot of different morals and values about myself, and I just was like, nah, this ain't for me. And if I have to do the things that it takes to go to this level, I don't think I want to do it. Yeah.
That's real, bro. And I think that's the, like, you can't really, character is one of those things that you can't really measure. It's like it's just that's really one of those like real life defining moments. It's like a fork in the road almost. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But
I will say, like, it's still like one of the dopest things that happened. Yeah, like, it's still dope. Yeah. Basically, what happened is I had a friend that was kind of like 6 degrees of separation. He was cool with that camp. He played the song for them. The dude called me like an hour later on the phone, like, hey, I love that song. I want to get on it. And then the phone just kind of like hung up. So I was like, what is it? Like, like, what does this mean? Basically, like, the phone hung up, and then I'm just tripping out like that whole week. I didn't hear from the guy again like for a whole week. So I'm sitting there like, damn, this is crazy. Like, he called me. He gonna get on the song eventually. So nothing ever happened. And then this is January 1st that I ended up putting the video out. So that's how he heard it. Gotcha. I didn't hear from him again until March, CIAA time.
Gotcha.
And he was like, come to my show, just randomly. All right, cool, I'll come to your show. So I went to his show, performed. He actually let me close the show, which was really, really dope. It was really crazy. Got to close the show. Then after that, he was like, I'm going to do that remix for you. So I was like, all right, cool. Then it was like another month. He was like, come to Miami. Flew out to Miami. Went to his house, actually got to kick with him, and I was fired. Went to the studio with him. He actually did the song. got it back, and you would think like, yo, the rest is history. But that's where I was talking about, like, this thing is a lot different than we think it is. Like, there's a lot of things that have to be done to make the. Basically, there are a lot of things that have to be done to give you the number one song or the number one, like, to put you in front of people. Like, payola is a real thing, and it's. The music game, the music industry isn't, unfortunately, it isn't just based off talent, which it should be.
Right.
It's based off of what, you know, how you're going to grease the next person's palm.
No, for sure.
And you just have to be down with that. And that's just something at that time I wasn't.
Yeah, I feel that. So how do you feel like all of your creative experiences really, but anything from that time or any specific time before that kind of propels you, or how do you start to create with those things in mind now? Like, what is it? Are you mindful of that kind of moving forward? Is it something where it's just kind of like a part of your operating system where you don't really think about it, like in terms of, I guess, just like relationships, working with other creatives? Like, has that changed your view at all, or is it?
I wouldn't say it changed my view. I feel like now I'm more like, I use my creativity as like, I keep it as a hobby. I don't, before when I was into music, like that was like literally like, this is what I'm gonna do in my life and this is it.
Yeah.
Like I was really like one egg in the basket, you know what I'm saying? Like that's really what I was on. And then when I got the wake up call, I was like, wait, I gotta make this, cause it became work, you know what I'm saying? Like it became like, I have to do this to survive. And it wasn't fun. It really wasn't fun. Like I had a song with Rick Ross, but I'm sitting there, everybody's celebrating around me, but I'm like, man, I'm still poor. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't got it. Like I'm not living like how, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it sucked. Yeah. So just basically putting myself in a position to realize like, hey, make these things a hobby so it's still fun. You enjoy it more. If it does get to that level to where, you know, this is the only thing you can do, you'll know when to, you know, stop your full time and stop those things. But just basically just prioritizing certain things. And then, of course, having a son, having a family, it's like, all right, you have to make sure that you definitely compartmentalize everything. Like, so I definitely want to touch on that too. Because like, you see the transition with people, right? Like you follow people, you see people around, you see the transition, and like I just want to, like, you and, you know, your beautiful family, y'all had like one of the most amazing kind of transitions in terms of just like, you know, opening a family business with a food truck, and like it was just dope. You know what I'm saying? Like to watch it outside looking in, you know what I'm saying? So like I want to say kudos on that, but like how has that dynamic kind of changed how you think about and approach things in general? I guess to kind of dig in deeper on what you were just kind of mentioning. So with having a family and everything, it just makes it like, it just pretty much, I'll say this, like even with the pandemic, right? Like we all went through the pandemic. That was something that we all went through. But the biggest thing out of the pandemic that I would like everybody to take away is like how important family is and how important that like love is. It really is an important thing, and to cherish that. And so it just really made me just kind of block out everybody else and stop doing it for the gram, stop doing it for the people around me, and really just start living for myself and for the people that's in my inner circle. So I stopped trying to impress the world. I stopped trying to impress, you know, everybody, because especially in music and trying to be a celebrity or trying to get fame, you're signing yourself up to be a servant of the world. And it's like you kind of you kind of forget what it is that's really important. And so I feel like with having a family, man, that just kept me grounded and it keeps me focused. It doesn't like allow me to get the big head about anything, because I'm just like, no, I just need to, as long as my son's good, I'm fine. Like as long as my wife's good, I'm fine. Like that's all I need. I don't need anything else.
No, that's real, bro. That's real. So, talk about the growth. So you came out of the phase where you wanted to do music. Again, you transition into having a family. You start the brand. Talk about the kind of the growth of the brand. Like you talked about, really seen an explosion in this last year. Like just kind of talk about that process, because I think a lot of times, especially in the world and how we see it now, there's a lot of kind of like instant gratification. People feel like things kind of blow up, you know, overnight to a certain degree. And for some people, they might. Yeah. But I feel like, at least for my personal story, you got to put in a lot of reps before you get there. So just talk about your perspective in terms of growing the brand and what it's looked like putting in those reps this last year, and maybe even how some of those previous experiences informed this year that like you were preparing for this year, but you didn't know it, and that's what kind of propelled it. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so in 2018 is when I started the brand. It was just genuinely like I was down so bad, y'all, like dead ass, like down bad. Like I ain't have nothing, dog. Like I was broke. My mom gave me the $100 to like get my first 12 T-shirts. Like I was down bad.
Shout out to mama.
Yeah, so shout out to her. So I just had an idea, you know, like I just had an idea, and it came randomly because I was just sitting there like, man, I don't know what I'm about to do. This music, I don't want to do that. Like I don't know what's going on. Like my job at the time was like trash, so it was just like, bro, like I don't know what I'm about to do. So I just started like, seriously, man, I just started praying, and I just like asked my great grandmother, like, cause I speak to her sometimes, so I was just like, yo, I didn't say yo, but I just asked, and I was just like, hey, I just need a sign, and From Charlotte with Love just came, and it's crazy because like how my great grandmother was as a person, she was just like a person that just was always positive. Like no matter what she was going through, no matter what happened, like she was always positive. She always kept a positive mindset. So it just kind of like, it just made, like this whole journey with this brand has forced me to transform my personality. Like being the guy that promotes From Charlotte with Love, I have to stand behind that at all times. I have to remain positive at all times. I can't, do anything crazy. And it's so crazy to me because it's like, she's no longer here, but she's still like, no, baby, I'm still guiding you because this is the man that you're going to be. So basically, I after the idea came, I actually put the shirts up online. Like I just took a picture of myself in the shirt in front of a yellow wall, like that one. And it was just a white shirt, red. I didn't know how it was going to go, but I just had this feeling. I was like, this is going to work. People going to like it. And the first day, I promise y'all, like it's all the shirts sold the first day, and I was like, oh wow,
I think I got something.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And then I did a restock, sold again immediately, and I was like, yo, this is nuts, like this is crazy. So it just kept going because people saw it and they were like, yo, I love the message, I love that it's positive, it's for everybody, everybody's digging it. So it just ended up just like the ball just kind of fell in my court. I wasn't looking for anything specific. I just was like, yo, this is the message I want to put out here. And it just continued to trickle. Even down to the mural. I had that idea in 2018. Like when we first actually created the first shirt, I was like, if this was on a wall, it's going to go crazy. Like people are going to love this. And I actually reached out to Charlotte as Creative to get it done.
Dope. Okay.
I heard nothing.
Shout out to Matt and Tim.
Yeah, but I heard nothing. I heard nothing. But it just happened this year, though.
Yeah.
They reached back out to me and was like, we want to go forward with the idea. I was like, yo, I thought y'all like
just ghosted me.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it's crazy. And then when they told me where they wanted to do it, I like blew my mind because just like he was saying, that 1500 block for me meant a lot because just basically like where I was in my life, like I was on the west side, man. I was doing some of the craziest stuff. I wasn't who I am today. Like I was a totally different person, bro, going down a totally different path. And that story, like going to Black Sheep, starting to skateboard, it started changing my life. It started changing the people that I was around, started changing the stuff that I was into. So I used to just hang out at Black Sheep all the time, hang out at the Common Market all the time. I still hang out with a lot of those people today.
Yeah.
So to see all of that get, like, it's all gone now. It's no longer there. The 1500 block is no longer the same 1500 block, but the From Charlotte with Love stamp is there. So it's like the place where I changed and my life turned around. It's like that mural is right there as a reminder, and it's nuts to me, bro. It's such a blessing, man.
It's God engineering, bro.
Yeah.
It's God engineering. So, what do the next steps look like, man? Like, so, and that's, first of all, actually, too, before we get into next steps, give us the rundown, because you said the brand is actually called Trash Genius.
Yeah.
From Charlotte with Love has kind of been the first iteration or the first staple that people are seeing from it. So first, give us some background on Trash Genius, the name of the brand, what your thought process is with it, and then we can talk about, like, where you want the brand to go next.
Okay, so Trash Genius was created. I was actually in Fayetteville, North Carolina, at my mom's old house, just completely bored out of my mind. I didn't have anything, so basically I was watching the. If you guys ever get a chance, it's a movie called Basquiat, and it has David Bowie. He plays Andy Warhol in the movie. I forgot who the guy is that plays Basquiat. Yeah. So I ended up Jeffrey Wright. Yeah. So I ended up watching this movie over and over and over, like every day. You know, I don't know if anybody else gets into those spells where they like watch the same thing. You just watch it every night. Watch it every night. I watched this movie over and over and over and over again. But the significant part of that movie was at the very beginning. John Michelle was in a box, and he was sitting behind a park bench. And the guy who ends up basically navigating him and becoming his manager is sitting on the bench in front of him. But they cross paths. But the guy doesn't even realize that this is John Michelle. Like, he's just like, oh, you know, some homeless guy. So to him, it was trash, but the whole time it was genius. You know what I'm saying? Like, so basically that's how I came up with the concept, like, yo, it's trash genius. So that's why the logo is my version of the self-portrait of Basquiat. So yeah, this is the first iteration. From Charlotte with Love is the first offering of Trash Genius. Of course, there's gonna be like more things. I did do a hat. My wife actually has it on. So I've kind of like dabbled into like a couple of little things. I'm definitely gonna get into more this year. But I really wanted to focus on like From Charlotte with Love and just getting that out there and just this is my staple piece and making people get really, really familiar with the staple piece before I started branching off into too many different things. And then you're not, because all right, so I don't even mean to.
No, I wasn't about to say nothing.
Like, just keep
keep going, bro. That's why we're here. The people are here picking it up.
So I didn't want to like put myself in a position to where people don't understand the brand. You know what I'm saying? Like not everybody, but a lot of brands just create and create and create and create. But you have to have something that people feel like they're a part of. And I wanted people to feel like they were a part of what I was doing. I wanted people to feel like we're growing together. It's not just me doing this, you know, we're doing this together. Like I only do piece by piece at a time. I don't do like full collections. I don't even restock things for the most part. I don't do that. I'm like, I just move on to the next thing. Maybe 2 years from now, you might see this hoodie come back. Like we might retro it like a Jordan or something. Like that's just the mindset. And
got you.
I don't even know where I was going with that.
No, it's a stream of consciousness, man. We needed that. But nah, so I want to open it up for questions. Anybody got any questions? Yeah, go for it.
I've been following you for a while too, and like Dave said, like I discovered you through your music. But with you and your wife having the food truck together, the business together, and with you and your wife doing the Charlotte with Love together, the question I'd like to ask is because my wife is about to start her brand and launch her business coming up soon, and I've been really invested into it and really trying to help her, and we're doing this together. So if you give me an advice, like how do you and your wife do it without like doing it and still being, you know, separating the business from the relationship and making sure it's still love in there.
That's a really good question.
And I'm not saying that like we have problems. I just want to make sure that we're gonna stay how we are now and still do this together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, for me, and I'm sure for you, like my wife is my best friend. So like we're homies. So if I was gonna do anything with like one of my boys, it's the same thing. Like we just kind of like, I don't know. Like for instance, when I told her the idea, like From Charlotte with Love, this is what I want to do. She's a graphic designer. She does that. So she was like, okay, this is her input. This is how we're gonna do it. How about, you know what I'm saying? Like we collab on every single thing that we do. Like we always do everything together. I don't think I could do anything without her input. Like to be honest, because she gives me that extra confidence. Like go. Because I overthink everything. But I think that you gotta just like understand that you both have strong suits. You both have opinions. Y'all gonna argue. That's life, bro. Like you're two people with two different minds. Like it happens. So. Just understanding that, but just overall, just understanding what the goal is. The goal is always the family, like the family over everything. Like that's the focus, and just keep that focus in mind. I think you'll be good. If that was a good. All right.
Hey Brandon, so I wanted to just get better clarification on understanding when you're selling yourself to just the public. And what I mean by that is you get a point when you're a celebrity, you know, your life is no longer
Yeah.
So how are you going to combat that as time goes on? Seeing like that's just as a parent as you grow as a player.
Well, I think that I'm just genuinely at this point, I'm being myself 100%. So I don't have to like really subscribe to like what other people want to do or what other people want to see. Like not I've molded, but life has kind of molded me into being completely positive, completely like I've been through so much stuff that it's just like, yo, every day's a blessing. I'm truly just happy to even be here. So I just feel like as long as I just continue to stay on that path, I feel like it's combating itself now. Like if that makes sense. If I didn't answer your question, let me know.
No, I guess I was more trying to just dive into as you get bigger, like people are just going to recognize you and they're going to come to your space because they think they own your space.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, how do you combat that as time goes on and you grow up?
I mean, it's a really great question. I don't know. I think I kind of I think I really just gotta like, I don't know. I feel like I got a good hold on it now, but like you said, I'm not there yet, so I don't really know. I
feel like
That's a really hard question.
It is. I feel like it's the education piece, though. I feel like once you, like, to your point about what you got with From Charlotte Love, like, you want people to understand, like, what the ethos is, and, like, you're pushing this message to make sure that it's ingrained in everybody's brain. Like, this is the starting point. And I feel like it's like that. Like, when you're building any type of community, you want to set the ground rules, you want to set the boundaries, and you want to, I don't want to say indoctrinate because that's like a negative connotation, but you want to make sure that everybody else that's in the space naturally gravitates and support those rules. So eventually you have like evangelists for the space that are pushing it forward. So the community will start to police itself. Like somebody will start to be, it's like being in any type of group. Like if you got a core group of homies, you like, nah, bro, like, you know what I mean? They're going to keep you on your square. They like, nah, we don't, I don't move like that. I can't be associated with nobody move like that. So if you're going to move like that, like we need to have a conversation or figure something out. It's no different than building a community. It's setting those guidelines to be able to say, like, this is what we about. This is how we move, and this is the mission. And you will naturally attract those people. And then once you have people that are kind of, bought into that mentality, it'll really start to police itself, and folks will start to be able to be like, yeah, that's not how we move over here. That's not how we operate.
Yep.
And people will either get down or lay down, to quote Benny Siegel.
And that's where my boy Day, he comes in, and my wife comes in. Like I talk to him every day. He keeps me grounded. Like, yo, this is what we doing. Even down to like this, like wearing this. Like he named it the uniform. This is a uniform. We wear this every day. Like every day. We don't care. Like it's our brands, our stuff. Like this is what we doing. Like we gonna wear the same thing every day. Cause
how you feel about that? Cause I honestly struggle with self promotion. Like I'm analog luxury down. Even got an analog luxury tee under the hoodie. But that's not even something that I would normally do for real. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not super self promotional. You know what I mean? So like, how do you feel about that? Like when he was like, yo, this is the uniform. This is what we doing. Was you like, bro, like? Chill, or was you like, okay, nah, it's lit? Like,
I mean, the thing is that like you really have to think about the fact that if you want people to wear your stuff, why aren't you wearing it? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like you're your best advertisement. Like I haven't even used like models for the brand or anything. I just use myself. Like I just take my own pictures myself because I'm like, yo, it's what I like. You guys like it too because whatever. Like I don't want to pay anybody to put my clothes on. Like I just take the picture myself.
Nah, it's to quote my homie Dev, it's like, people don't really buy products, or they don't fall in love with products. People fall in love with people.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that definitely resonates and makes sense, man. But give it up for Rel, man.
Thank y'all.
Nah, man, that was dope. I appreciate it. We're gonna have a quick little 5-minute intermission, meet some more people, do some more shopping, and then we'll be back to wrap it up with our final interview for the night, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with us and coming out, man. So this is history in the making, man. Like, it's full circle moment because Rel and Lonnie came to my very first event at Apostrophe Lounge back in 2014 when I was first launching my blog. Lonnie was a part of the first 5 people I interviewed for my blog, DaveHasWings.com, back in the day. So, like, this is a full circle moment to, again, talk with a Charlotte legend right here, yo. Like, and I mean that with all sincerity, yo. So, give it up for Rel one more time, yo.